We know next to nothing about our own ocean, considering that it is the literal lifeblood of our planet, covering more than 70% of the Earth's surface, affecting weather, regulating global temperature, and being the root support system of all living creatures that make this planet their home. It's staggering to comprehend the fact that more than 80% of our ocean is unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored. But what if we had a physical manifestation of that mystery? A figure who would champion the majesty of the ocean, acting as both spokesperson and defender of the deep aquatic realm. What if Aquaman was real? Hello internet, and welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice Jack Finch as we take up the five-pointed trident, yeah, don't ask, and curiously ask the question, what if Aquaman was real? Roll the clip.
We're about to declare war upon the surface world. The only way to stop this war is for you to take your rightful place as king.
Now, it's a romantic notion to imagine an advocate of the ocean, perhaps a brave merman, a half-human, half-fish champion of legend, perhaps a sentient dolphin hybrid with the sole goal of ushering in a brave new world of aquatic exploration, or even a direct ancestor of the ancient lost city of Atlantis. Oh, wait, no. That'll do, because in actual fact, that one is the most believable, right? Well, believable is perhaps a stretch, but plausible is definitely on the docket. As we said previously, 80% of the ocean is unmapped and unexplored, which is a hell of a lot of data to remain unspoken for, and maybe somewhere deep down in the dark depths, lurking on the other side of the murky mirror, is the last vestige of when our species crawled out of the primordial soup. Yet, one of them stayed behind and said, nah, I'm good here, thanks. You go on without me. Before we swim through this canonical stream of consciousness, you know how it is by now. Question is, if you're a fan of this video, Aquaman, lost aquatic civilizations, or just Life's Biggest Questions in general, then please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe bell, so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest uploads. Also, make sure to stick around until the end, where I'll be reading out some of your most creative comments from the past few days. On with the show. Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry, aka Orin, is perhaps DC Comics' most widely underestimated and underappreciated comic book superhero. When you really break down his storyline, this guy has been through the mill and back and has constantly been at conflict internally and externally ever since he was left to die on Mercy Reef as a baby. In the Silver Age continuity, back when things were a little more whiskey and chain smoking, Aquaman was the son of a lighthouse keeper named Tom Curry and his mysterious mother, a woman named Atlanta. Spoilers, she's the exiled queen of Atlantis. I wonder what gave that one away. On her deathbed, she revealed to her son that the reason he could breathe underwater and talk to fish wasn't because of his father's proficiency as a lighthouse keeper, but because he was an Atlantean and would someday inherit rule of the seven seas and take up his throne as king of Atlantis. Well, that baby was soon thrown out with the bathwater, and Aquaman's origins were changed up again when the universe rebooted itself during the Crisis of Infinite Earths, a multiversal catastrophe where DC threw their hands in the air and said, yeah, this stuff doesn't make sense anymore, let's start again. In this new origin, Aquaman picked up the ancestral name Orin. Wizards were involved, regicide attempted, and our man Aquaman was instead raised by dolphins and also kind of had a relationship with a female named Nera, who was a dolphin. Yeah. But anyway, forget about that one, because there was one thing that remained the same. He was born an Atlantean, and here lies our first brush with reality, because if Aquaman is real, then the continent of Atlantis is real, and then things get really interesting. However you feel about the legend of Atlantis, no one can deny the significance that it's had on our culture. Ever since Plato first penned mention of the highly advanced Atlantean civilization in his work on the Republic sometime in 380 BC, we've been obsessed with the notion of a society that completely disappeared from the pages of history, sinking deep to the bottom of the ocean after angering the gods. The fuel to this mystery, though, is due to Plato's vague indications of the time the fall of Atlantis took place, which was over 9,000 years before his time, and the suspiciously specific alleged location residing beyond the Pillars of Hercules, or the two rocks that flank the Straits of Gibraltar. It's led to the rise of much pseudoscientific speculation, but if Aquaman was real, then all of those theories would be vindicated as correct, and then things would get real crazy. Our civilization may struggle to comprehend the thought of a highly advanced species living on a remote alien planet, But how would we react to one hidden right beneath our feet? It's easy to admit that most of the majestic mystery of planet Earth has been gradually snuffed out, frontiers have been conquered, and the vast majority of the planet is mapped and catalogued accordingly. There aren't many places left to hide, and for the most part, we've lost the slowly kindled magic of the unknown. If Atlantis has been hiding this whole time, what other mysteries does our planet keep closely guarded? Well, there's one thing to be certain. As chief spokesperson of all of the creatures of the ocean, Aquaman would have a lot to say for the state of the seven seas. Currently, over half of the coral has been killed off in the Great Barrier Reef in just the past few decades. Ocean acidification has increased by 16% in the past century. Over 60% of fisheries and fish stocks are completely depleted and drained. As current projections state, by 2050 there will be more plastic than fish in our oceans. And right now, floating slap bang in the middle of the Pacific is an entire continent made of plastic the size of Texas, joyfully dubbed the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. If Aquaman was real, he would not be happy. And to be honest, with the current bleak outlook of how we've abused the most important planetary resource we have, our only hope would be an orange and green 5-point trident wielding hero. Well, there we have it, folks. What do you think would be the outcome of the existence of Aquaman? Let us know your thoughts in the comment box down below. Before we depart though, let's take a look at some of the more creative things you've had to say over the past few days. Gaming Legend says, what if you created a super powerful, legendary, undetectable, indestructible force field around Earth? Well, Gaming Legend, that sounds like a pretty big project, but if it's undetectable, how do you know we don't have one already? Hey. Next up, Anmol54 says, happy 1 million subscribers, been watching since the first video. Well, Anmol54, thank you very much, and we couldn't have done it without people like you. Also, if you've been watching since the first video, then you've been around longer than me, so I guess we've got to say double thank you. Well, there we have it, folks. Cheers for sticking around all the way to the end. If you're a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and ding that subscribe bell, and we'll be seeing you in the next one. As always, I've been your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.